We have some breaking news from the NHL. We have our first coaching casualty of the NHL offseason. The Ducks have decided they are moving on in a new direction. We'll discuss the record of Coach Greg Cronin and where the Ducks may go next, coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some breaking news here in the NHL. We have the first coaching casualty, the first coach of the offseason has been fired, and to be completely honest, I'm not shocked this happened, but I am surprised he's the first one to go. Lots of speculation around a handful of other coaches, and I'm sure we'll likely get more news similar to this here in the coming days as teams do their end of season meetings and gatherings, talk to the media and all that stuff here that we'll see over the course of this weekend and into next week. But the Anaheim Ducks have decided to move on from head coach Greg Cronin, who's completed just his second season on the job. In 2 years, he had a record of 62, 87, and 15, was hired by Pat Verbeek in June of 2023. Of course, he was the first head coach that Verbeek hired on his own. Of course, Verbeek had gotten onto the job not too long before that as a first-time general manager in Anaheim, and then went in a new direction for a coach, which wasn't shocking. I mean, obviously, taking a look at what Verbeek the kind of style he looks like he wants to play and what he was like himself as a player, wasn't shocking to see Cronin be the guy that he went to. Of course, Greg Cronin was an older first-time coach, not something you commonly see, but still thought it could have worked out. The other thing that's a little surprising in this is that his record in 2 years doesn't exactly look inspiring, but we know the Ducks have been rebuilding, and this year, compared to last, they had a 21-point improvement. One of the better improvements in the NHL, finished the season around 500 hockey. For a team that's been rebuilding and are working their way up the standings, I thought they made some good progress this year. Now, I could also see how he may not be the best fit for some of these players. Take a look at, prime example, Trevor Zegras. Now, I know that they've been harping on Zegras to play a different style, to add different new elements to his game. We all know Trevor Zegras is loaded with skill, but I think there was a lot of concerns about his defensive play, attention to other details, trying to add a little bit more. Maybe it's a bit of physicality to his game, just trying to round him out as a player. And, look at his point totals the last 2 years compared to his first 2 years. Absolutely tanked, But meanwhile, we've seen other players, though, continue to get better. Cutter Gauthier came in as a rookie this year, had a solid season. We've seen Mason McTavish continue to evolve. Carlson's continue to do well. They got lots of young D. Look at Jackson Lacombe really work his way up through that lineup and become such an important D on that back end. Dostal has become an important piece on the goaltending side, with Gibson's time in Anaheim likely coming to an end here soon. Whether it be a finally trade after 2-3 years of Rumours, or if not, the contract's ending soon anyways. But, this is a team that's transitioning, for sure into a team that could very well be, a playoff contending team, maybe as soon as next year, if not two for sure. Like they've got a lot of good things going on there. So a little surprising that they wouldn't let Cronin kind of see this through. So like I said, I think to me, this is more of, I do wonder, we'll have to wait and see what Pat Verbeek has to say. He hasn't spoken to the media about this here as of yet, but more of a stylistic approach. And I do wonder if it's more of a, just not a great fit with some of these younger players. I do wonder how this will impact Trevor Zegras, because he's been a player that's been, like I said, in the rumor mill as well over the past year or two. Hasn't been a good connection with between the team and coach and player during his tenure there. So, with a new coach, will they be able to unlock Zegras? Will they hold off on, trading the player? They've had lots of conversations. It was reportedly very close to pulling off a deal, sending Zegras to Montreal at last year's NHL draft. The Habs were waiting to see if Demidov became available to them in the draft, and because of that, they stopped the talks with the Ducks. But if Demidov would have went into the first 4 picks and he wasn't available, they were ready with an offer. They had worked out with the Ducks to pull the trigger, and it never happened. So certainly we'll have to see where things go. Be curious to see who they hire next. I do wonder if there'll be one of the teams that are going to go after David Carle, the University of Denver. We've talked about the Chicago Blackhawks supposedly having high interest in Carle, and that they're prepared to make a big offer to him to come in. We said before, he's got a great job there, when it comes to his setup, and he understands that, the whole you're hired to be fired approach in the NHL. It's a different world in college. He can be more comfortable, have more stability, And do you really want to say you made it pro, but then a couple of years later you're out of a job? And then what do you do now, right? You can't just go back to your old one. It's not that simple. So, the Anaheim Ducks are a team though that do have a good base of young players, and obviously, like I said, Carl's got a lot on his resume between his time at the University of Denver as well as being the head coach for the USA World Junior Club the past couple of years. So he could be a great fit there as well. I don't know if Verbeek will be one of the GMs that are going to really have him high on his list and be prepared to make him a substantial offer to get him to come on board. But we'll have to wait and see where they go next from here. Let me know your thoughts on the Ducks dismissing Greg Cronin. Who do you think is going to be the next head coach of this club? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.